Ah, bollocks.
Okay guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. On a Friday for a change, get back on track. I hope you've all had a decent week. I've actually been on holiday all this week and I've got to say it's been absolutely wonderful. My wife was off, she was off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. She went back to work yesterday, so it's just myself and Ava, and I've got to say we've not done a great deal. Totally skint anyway, so that's by the by. But I've got the house to myself tonight, hence the reason I'm filming from my kitchen. My wife is away to I think it's a work's wedding or something, or somebody at their work is getting married. And my daughter is away 10-pin bowling, so I'm expecting the phone to ring any time. I dropped her off about 6 o'clock tonight, so I'll be picking her up later on. But what have I been doing? Obviously I was at the Jean-Michel Yard concert on Saturday. What else was I doing? I was at the computer club on Tuesday, yep, because it was actually my birthday on Wednesday. So we brought the computer club forward. We normally have it on a Wednesday, but because my birthday was on the Wednesday, I said to the guys, can we move it a day early? So we had it on Tuesday. Really good fun. If you maybe seen the wee video I put up, slightly less than normal, but it's good fun. You know what? It's been going now for. It's been going over 4 years. I would say it's almost 5 years, which is quite incredible. It's not growing at all. I mean, we have over the years tried to kind of promote it and get more people interested, but the thing about it is it comes down to we all take along our own equipment. You know, all the stuff that we take along belongs to one of us, and we all look after it. And would you really want lots and lots and lots of people coming along and using your own stuff? Probably not. So I think the size it's at is probably ideal. I think there's usually about 6, 7, 8 of us per month, which is great fun. So that is it. If you can hear, I don't know, you probably can't, you might hear some chirping, and it's because I've got some friends with me, the little bugs, which my daughter's monitor, Wink, he actually eats these things, so they do actually, oh, there he goes, there's one of them starting to chirp. I always feel sorry for these wee guys. So anyway, yeah, what have we got to talk about? A few things. Right, why I'm warming to PSVR. Now, I know I've been gibbering for the last couple of weeks about not being interested in the PlayStation VR. These little pink strawberry milk bottles. Yeah, I've been dead against getting the PSVR. Now, I did originally have one pre-ordered, but I cancelled it. A, because of lack of money, and B, I was I was a bit concerned that it wasn't going to be that good. I mean, I've got the Gear VR, which I use my phone with, and it is really good. It's an excellent entry level VR. I mean, Dave Longboy's Post 1975, he put up a video of his first experiences of VR. Now he's got a £100 phone, I don't know what kind of phone it is, and he bought a £10, £10 VR headset, and he's been using that, and he's been blown away with just how good it is. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on VR. But anyway, getting back on topic, the Gear VR thing which I've got is great fun, but ultimately it's turned out to be a bit of a novelty. You know, it's one of these things that I used a lot for the first, I would say maybe a couple of months, and then I've just not used it. I mean, I used it last week for a short time, and you know, that was it. But the thing about VR, you understand, any system has to actually produce the game or whatever you're actually looking at. It needs to display it twice, so you're not going to get super detailed graphics on a sort of low end system. Now the PlayStation 4, yeah, we all know that it can do really nice graphics, but what are the graphics going to look like when it's having to display. Basically, I would imagine if it's having to display the graphics twice, then the resolution detail is going to be cut by half. That's my non-technical head thinking. I mean, I might be talking utter bollocks. So I was thinking, yeah, it's not going to be any more than just maybe slightly better than the Gear VR novelty thing that's going to, after a few weeks, you're going to get fed up and you're not going to be interested in it. Now, it's fine losing interest in an £80 headset, which I've got, but if you're spending 350 quid on a PSVR and you get bored after a month, that's quite a bit of money to waste. However, I've been watching a few videos, a few of my mates, like debacles Prime and Bangkokian, they've both got them. And Bangkokian, I mean Ian in particular, he is, if I'm the MAME Meister, he is the VR Meister. The funny thing was, it was when I made a video of my Gear VR, that's what got Ian into VR. Now, since then, Ian he's got all the systems. He's got the Gear VR, he's got the Vive, I keep calling it Hive, the Vive, which is the HTC Vive. He's also got the Oculus Rift, the consumer one, whatever it's called. And more recently, he's picked up the PSVR. Now, I think he's going a bit daft with the games. I mean, I think he's been putting out a new game every single day. I don't know how many games you've got there, Ian, but I think you've got virtually every game that's available. And I've been watching Ian's videos, and I've got to say, I'm absolutely really impressed with the quality of the graphics. The graphics are astonishing looking. I think Ian did mention that he was playing Drive Club, and he did mention that I think the resolution has been cut by half for the reasons that I've already mentioned, because the system's got to produce it twice. But looking at it on YouTube, it still looks really nice. I don't know if there's any full games. I mean, I believe there are a few games coming out for it. Can you imagine Grand Theft Auto 5 in VR? That would be pretty special. But yeah, apparently there are some big games coming out. But yeah, I'm more positive about it now than I was last week. Will I be buying one soon? Probably not, because I don't have the money. That's the bottom line. I may wait until certainly after Christmas time. Then maybe a bundle or something will come out, which I may be interested in picking up. And by that time, I've got Christmas out the road as well. So, I'm kind of starting to change my my opinion of the PlayStation VR. The thing is, it's still early days. It's still a novelty. It'll be interesting to see what Ian and what Mark think of it. A month down the line, 2 months down the line, do they still play it? I think for it to become more than a novelty, games have got to be decent. You can't have a game that you can complete in half an hour, because then you complete it and you won't go back to it. You need big kind of blockbuster games. So it's going to be interesting to see just how that pans out. But yeah, it's certainly back on my radar again. I will be watching it with interest just to see what games come out for it, and I may try and pick it up after the new year. So yeah, that is that. Next one, I can't not mention this, the Nintendo Switch. What was it called? Why would they call it the DX? Anyway, Nintendo Switch. Like most people, I've watched the video. Apparently, they did a. Was it released? Well, it's not been released. Did they make some kind of presentation thing? I don't know. Anyway, I've watched the video for the Nintendo Switch. What are my opinions on it? It looks to me like they're trying to get a system that you play in the house, but it's also portable, so you can play it in the house on the big 50-inch TV. You can also play it in the car. You can play it in a field with your pals. You can play it in an aeroplane. You can play it in a train. You can play it in the bath probably as well. It's a portable system, but you're able to play the big games on the smaller screen. Yeah, it's quite eye-catching. It's got this sort of detachable bits that come off to form, or basically you can unclip the thing and then you clip on the controls at either side, so it basically becomes, it looks a bit like the what do you call it, the Wii U controller, although apparently is it Tigra. Oh, there's the cricket starting. Shut it. Yeah, I'm not in a jungle. It's just these bloody things. What was I talking about? Yeah, apparently the chipset is at Tegra. Now that's what the Nvidia Shield uses. Now I did have an Nvidia Shield, albeit a wee handheld one. But the main sort of tablet type thing with the controller is meant to be one of the most powerful sort of handhelds you can get. I mean, obviously Nvidia, you know, they're cutting edge when it comes to graphics. So yeah, this Switch, it looks to me like it's got these detachable bits that come off and it transforms into a handheld. But then you can also detach the two bits left and right, and you can use them as two controllers, so you can be in a car with your mate and you can be playing FIFA, whatever it is, on this little screen. Is it something I'm going to get? I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just getting old in the tooth. I mean, I was sitting, what was I playing last night? I was sitting playing R-Type on the Game Boy. I've really, over the last few years, I've really come to realise that as much as I like new systems and new technology, my heart firmly lies in old systems. I mean, you just have to look at the videos that I make. Whilst a lot of people are making videos about, you know, PS4 and, you know, VR, my videos are all about ancient computer systems. So that's where my interest lies. So it doesn't really hold a lot of appeal to myself. I mean, one thing about that I always felt with the PSVR is a lovely looking machine. It really is nice. But the games in it were pretty much, they were the type of games you would play on a 50-inch TV on your PS4. They weren't the kind of games you'd want to play in a handheld. I prefer my handheld gaming to be like stuff like R-Type, you know, little arcade games that you can pick up and play for 10 minutes. You can't pick up and play, I don't know, Halo for 5-10 minutes, or, you know, Assassin's Creed. It's just not that kind of game. I can see it selling by the bucket loads. I mean, the younger generation, they'll be all over it. They really will. It's a nice looking bit of tech. I think the big thing for Nintendo will be if it allows third party support. I mean, that's always been the big bugbear with Nintendo. They don't allow third party support, or if they do, it's very, very difficult to actually get your software approved with them. And I think that's the biggest feeling of the Wii U. I mean, the Wii U, I would imagine, is technically classed as a failure, even though it's a nice system. The games that came out for it, you know, all by Nintendo, right enough, there were some excellent games in there, Splatoon, amongst other stuff. But Nintendo really need to allow other developers to make games for it. Then it will, you know, get the sales, and it may rival the PS4 and the Xbox One. The one thing that I read about the Switch, which I can't get my head around it. Nintendo are always the last one to get into the sort of the generation of games. Now, in fact, am I talking bollocks? I'm not too sure. Anyway, the PS4 and Xbox One are more powerful than the Wii U. Now, you'd think with Nintendo coming along with a new console, they would ensure that it's going to be more powerful graphically than what's already out there. Now, apparently that's not the case. Apparently this Wii Switch is not going to be as graphically powerful as the PS4 and Xbox One, which to my mind is crazy. I mean, yeah, you know, good, as I know myself, good graphics don't make a good game. But surely if you're bringing out a new system, you should be making it foolproof, or future-proof I should say, because in a couple of years' time, well, there we go, we've already got the PlayStation Pro, which is it either out? Is it out yet, or it's coming out anyway? If it's not out yet, it's coming out very shortly, and I think there's going to be a new version of the Xbox One coming out as well. So that's going to probably make their games even more impressive graphically, which is going to, you know, it's going to make the Nintendo Switch look even worse. So I don't know why. Surely if you're going to be bringing a new console, you need to have at least as good graphics of what's already out there, and it shouldn't be worse. So I don't know why they're doing that. To me that just seems a bit crazy. But anyway, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Will I be getting one in launch? No, I won't be. You know, to me it offers nothing new. I mean, I've got my big consoles for my gaming on the couch. I've got my different consoles if I want to play gaming on the move. So it doesn't really offer me anything at all personally. But I can certainly see the appeal of somebody playing the latest Assassin's Creed, and then, you know, whatever it is, they're going to their mate's house and they want to play, or they're going on holiday and they want to be able to play Assassin's Creed on that. I can see the appeal of that. I mean, I think you can play like the PS4 games on the Vita. Although I don't think I think you've got to be within distance of the PS4. You can't take your Vita on a train and play a PS4 game. So, you know, maybe that's, I suppose this Switch thing is going to be, it's going to be novel because you can actually physically take your game and you know, go on an aeroplane and play your game. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be successful. I really do hope so, because it would be a travesty if Nintendo were to, you know, were to abandon the hardware, because Nintendo, they were one of the first ones to kind of create this industry, and I think, as I've always said all along, Nintendo do make some of the best video games, and I think the industry would be far less without them in it. Okay, right, Nintendo Switch, done that one. Right, I was watching, because I'm on holiday today, or not, I'm not on holiday today, I'm on holiday all this week, back in Monday. Yeah, I was watching Bedrooms to Billions. I bought it a couple of days ago. It's not the original one, it's the story of the Amiga. Now, I've got to say, it's really enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. It's a long film, it's 2.5 hours long. It's kind of different from the first Bedrooms to Billions, which was really just concentrating on the, well, basically the computer revolution in the UK. But this one, this Amiga one, it's less about the games and it's all about the development of the Amiga, where it started. I mean, it's a fantastic story. Basically, this group of guys got together, a guy called Jay Minor, and some of his pals invited a few friends along, and they basically sat down with a, you know, behind a blackboard, bits of paper and pencils, and they just drew out the Amiga. They drew it out. They came up with this prototype with all these different boards, and and then they took it along to the, what's it called again? It's a big massive show in Las Vegas, the Electronic Consumer Show, whatever it was called, and they took along this big massive prototype, and they demoed. They showed it for they had it sort of running on the first day, and then that night the guys, a couple of the guys went back into the venue and they programmed the bouncing ball demo. You've probably seen it. It's a big kind of shaded ball bouncing. Is it bong, whatever it's called, bong demo. They came up with this bong demo, and the following day, when all the public came back in again, all the companies, it absolutely blew their mind when they saw this thing. They'd never seen anything like this before. You know, it was just absolutely staggering. And the Amiga 1000, it wasn't the success that, you know, they wanted, but then they came up with an idea. Why don't we make a consumer version? And that became the Amiga 500. And the rest, as I say, is history. But, you know, just watching it is fantastic. You know, it's amazing to see these guys. They came up with this, probably the best home computer, bar none. It was a fantastic computer, it really was. Yeah, my heart lies with the Commodore 64, but as far as what the Commodore Amiga could do, I mean, it was way ahead of its time. You know, you could multitask. It had this astonishing sound chip, sound processor, whatever it was. It could sample sounds. You know, it had 4,096 colours. It was just way ahead of anything that had been seen before. It was the first computer to do, what do you call it? Like CGI, I think, was it used in, was it Babylon 5 or Star Trek? I can't remember what it was, but yeah, the Amiga was so far ahead of its time. Awesome. But yeah, if you get a chance to watch it, it's called Bedrooms to Billions, the Amiga Years. If you've got any interest in the Commodore Amiga, again, watch it, because you'll come away a wee tear in your eye thinking, you know, you just don't get something like that. Just wouldn't exist where you get a group of enthusiasts coming up with a new machine, or so you thought. Yep, moving on, Indiegogo Sinclair Vega Plus. Now, you've probably seen in the Tinternet, probably from, I don't know, 6 months ago, they brought out, there was one of these Kickstarter things, and they brought out the Sinclair Vega, which is the wee sort of handheld keyboardy type thing which you plug into your telly, and you've got 1,000 games. Although if you actually look at the 1,000 games, you'll probably recognise about 6 of them. Another 900 and whatever it is, 994 games you've probably never heard of. Anyway, not talking about that one, but yeah, I think that the Sinclair Vega was quite successful, and so they decided, in their wisdom, they're going to bring this handheld Spectrum out, and they're going to call it the Vega Plus. Now, I remember talking about it at the time when I saw pictures of it, and like there was a sort of prototype type thing, and yeah, there's lots of people getting very excited about it. All the sort of Spectrum fanboys getting very excited being able to play, you know, Manic Miner and School Days in a car or on a bus. Well, I didn't get too excited because that's what an Android tablet's for, or an Android handheld. My little GPD XD has been doing that. I've, you know, my Pandora, which I showed you last week, I can play Spectrum games on the move. So really, the Vega Plus to me was like, whatever, you know, I've seen it, I've done it. Why limit yourself to getting one of these when it will only play, well, I'm guessing it will only play the Spectrum, although I dare say somebody would probably hack it, but it's old hat, you know. All they've done is taken an Android tablet and stuck the little sort of Sinclair rainbow thing across it. But anyway, the reason for talking about that is my mate Alan, just before I actually started recording this, he was I was talking to him in the Facebook Messenger, and he was asking have I seen all the latest about this Vega Plus. Now, I've not been following it at all, but Alan sent me a link, and basically it looks like this Vega Plus, I don't know when it was originally supposed to be getting released, but apparently they keep moving. They'll not commit to a release date, and looking at some of the comments, people are starting to get a bit jumpy about it. Yeah, there's the fanboys who are saying, you know, calm yourself, I'm quite prepared to wait and wait and wait, but quite rightly so, people are getting pissed off because the company, I don't know the company's name, that are actually making the thing, they're not giving any guarantees. Apparently they had some sort of preview, was it last night supposedly, where they invited 50 people along to see this thing now, to see this prototype. Now, they haven't come up with any photographs or anything to let anybody see. So people are starting to think, people are now starting to doubt whether they're going to get anything for their money. Now, I've always been very, very cautious about these Kickstarter things. From what I gather with Kickstarter, you pledge a certain amount of money, and if they reach their target, then you effectively have, I think your money is then taken off you. There is no guarantee you're going to actually get anything back, you know, so that's not very good. But I think this Indiegogo thing, I think when you pledge money, they take the money off you right away. And this Vega Plus thing was an Indiegogo project. But I've always been very reluctant about these things. You know, I can understand the appeal, you know, and you know, it's allowing things that may never see light of day, because there's obviously, you know, people want to make a new game, they don't have the funds, but if people fund it, then you know they can make this game. So I understand that the sort of basics behind it, it can be a good thing, but there's just been far too many examples like this Vega Plus where people pledge money and the thing doesn't turn out to be what it was supposed to be, or it never even sees the light of day. I mean, I know that there's been a few of them. Was that Coleco Chameleon? Was that a Kickstarter? I can't remember, but that was a bit of a quite funny, because basically the machine didn't exist, and when they did take along a prototype, it was basically all they did was they took a graphics card out of a PC and stuck it in a case and pretended this was a new machine. But somebody very cleverly identified that it was a graphics card, and it was basically exposed for what it was, that there wasn't actually a prototype of this thing in existence. But then there was also the one with Elite, what's his name, Steve Wilcox, bringing out, what the hell was it? Was that the, yeah, it was, what do you call it? It was it looks like a rubber keyed Spectrum 48K, but all it was a Bluetooth keyboard. But what you could do is they brought out an app that you could download. So basically this Bluetooth keyboard you could use on a tablet, you could use on your PC, you could probably use on your Mac. You could run an emulator and use this sort of Spectrum keyboard to emulate, you know, like the real keyboard of Spectrum. But they brought out apps for various tablets, but then it surfaced that Elite hadn't actually asked for permission for all these games. So they had like 1,000 games in this thing, and they hadn't actually asked permission from the people who owned the games. They hadn't paid any royalties or anything. So that app was pulled, which basically meant people who had actually had funded the Kickstarter, I think some of them got their keyboard. Not everybody got the keyboard, but even if you did get it, you couldn't use it for anything other than just a keyboard. You couldn't run the app. Apps didn't exist because they'd been found out. Elite pulled the app from the App Store, so you couldn't actually use it. So yeah, there's been a few of these things where people have just basically been ripped off, and that's why I'm always very, very cautious when it comes to it. Saying that, the only one I have actually funded or put money towards was the original Bedroom to Billions. I think it ended up costing me 40 quid for a DVD, which is a lot of money, but you know, I don't like paying that because I quite enjoyed the film. So aye, that is that. Following on from the bad news, a slightly kind of depressing thing. I was kind of debating whether to even mention it, but you know what? You know me. I always talk from the heart. I tell you what's happening. It's hard to avoid the news, obviously, with Syria and the tension with America and Russia. And I happened to, I was on my iPad a couple of days ago, and it came up with headlines. And one of them, I think it was the Daily Express. Now I know the Daily Express is like the Daily Mail. It's just, you know, they exaggerate whatever. But they're basically saying that Russia had been warning. I don't know if this is propaganda or whatever, but Russia had been warning their people to ready themselves for a nuclear war. They said that America and Russia were on the brink of a third world war, and it was going to be a nuclear war. And I must admit, when I read that, when I saw it, I just felt a chill go right down my spine. And I must admit, that night I hardly slept. I was just thinking about it, and I've been kind of checking the headlines every couple of days. And I mean, there was a thing on the internet today in the news saying that there was some Russian boats, destroyers, whatever it was. There was an aircraft carrier that was going through British waters. It's obviously on its way to Syria. But you know what? I'm a guy of the 80s. I was around when the Cold War was still in existence in the 80s, and the threat of nuclear war back then was quite a real threat. And I remember as a kid being, I wouldn't say terrified, but it was quite ominous with this thought, you know, that this could actually happen. And I kind of feel it's kind of going that way again. I really, really hope that it doesn't go to that, but it's quite scary. It really does. It just puts everything in perspective. You know, you think to yourself, God forbid that happens, but you know, everything that we complain about and talk about would mean nothing. But anyway, sorry for a bit of a downer, but yeah, that's it's just one of these things I noticed, and it's been playing in my mind a wee bit. I really do hope, as we all do, that it doesn't actually come to anything. So anyway, slightly more upbeat question time. Batman, how about games that you didn't like in the past that you love now? For me, I never got on with any of the Jeff Minter games. I just didn't enjoy them at all. Then a couple of years back, I got a batch of old C64 games, and as I was trying them out, I chanced on a few Minter titles and found out they were really amazing. I really enjoyed them and couldn't stop playing them. I bought more and more, and now I'm hooked. Has this ever happened to you? Funny you're talking about Jeff Minter. I was the same. I mean, you know, I've got a lot of respect for Jeff Minter. I mean, I know him fairly well. He knows me. I know him. I mean, I used to be on his forum for years and years and years and years. He's a really nice guy, and the stuff that he puts out. I mean, one of my favourite games of all time is TXK on the PSVR. It's an absolutely astonishing game. I would say it's worth buying a PS Vita just to play that game. It's an amazing game. And the funny thing was it last week, I think it was, I loaded up Space Giraffe, which it was one of these games where it didn't really, it was a Marmite game. You either loved it or you hated it. Now, I was probably in the second camp. I wouldn't say I hated it, but I couldn't get on with it. It's one of these games you've got to, the sound part of it is just as important as the graphical side of it, because there's notifications sound wise, and you need to kind of stay on your toes and listen to what's going on. But I just simply could not play it at all, and I gave up on it very quickly. I mean, quite a few of my mates. In fact, when I was playing it last week, I think one of my mates, Pete, he's got something like the third highest score ever. It's something like 42 million points. He's got. But yeah, I could not get on with it, although a lot of my mates loved it to bits. But last week I loaded it up. I thought I'll have a wee shot of it, and I've got to say I really, really enjoyed it. It's an astonishing looking game. I mean, it's you know, I was at the Jean-Michel Jarre concert last week, and it's close to being it's like a Jean-Michel Jarre video game. You know, the astonishing visuals and amazing. I can just imagine what that would be like in 3D. So yeah, but getting back on track, games that you didn't like and now you do like. Well, I suppose that is one of them. I said I wasn't a fan of Space Giraffe, but playing it a few times recently, I've actually really enjoyed it. I can't say there's been any computer games that I can think of that I didn't like, but now I do like. But there's quite a few arcade games. I mean, Berserk, Missile Command, even stuff like Galaxian. I mean, I couldn't play Galaxian to save myself back in the day, but now I love these games to bits. Berserk I always thought looked like one of the dullest games ever, but it's one of my favourite games. I mean, I started playing it just as a laugh to record for the channel, and I really, really enjoy it. Talking of Galaxian, Charlie F, he's a mate of mine. He used to be on the Yak Yak forums as well, and he actually posted a comment last week, and he was telling me that he's actually he holds the highest. I think he's either beaten it or he's equalised the highest score ever on Galaxian. 2,200,000, something like that. Absolutely phenomenal. So his name's apparently on Twin Galaxy. So well done, Charlie. Absolutely awesome skills. Certainly beats my I think it's 20,000 that I can get. So these arcade games, I wasn't a fan of them back in the day, but I never really got to play them properly. Whereas obviously having a MAME cab and having MAME in different sort of devices, I can now get access to it. But I can't think of any computer games that I didn't really like. But I was never a big fan of Jeff Minter's games. As much as I wanted to love them, I just found them slightly too wacky. So anyway, listen, thanks for that question. That was excellent. Right, Brian C. I've got to say, Brian C. he was probably my second ever subscriber. He's stuck with me through thick and thin, and he was one of the guys. I think I mentioned this before. After a few months, I think I was up to 4 or was it 6 subscribers, and my videos were getting like 2 or 3 views, and I actually made a video where I was going to give up with YouTube. I thought, what's the point of doing it? And Brian, he made a post saying that he enjoyed watching the videos and I should continue, and I've got to say, because of that, here I am. So you've got Brian to thank for this video. Anyway, what's Brian saying? Are you going to put your oxygen video on YouTube? That was I took a video of Jean-Michel Jarre last week, Probably not, Brian, because I put it on Facebook. So no, I'll not be putting it on YouTube. Secondly, what is the name of the 8-bit game where you played the part of a janitor in a department store? Now, you know what, I was actually going to Google it, and as I was typing the name, or not typing, I was typing the question in, it came to me. I think the game you're thinking of is Lazy Jones by Terminal Software. You play the part, as you say, of a janitor, and you walk about, you walk along corridors, and in each room there's a mini game. I can remember playing it back in the day, and I wasn't overly impressed because, you know, the games are all fairly simplistic, things like Space Invaders and that kind of stuff. The one standout thing about it though was the music, and the theme, or not the theme tune, but the actual musical track of Lazy Jones was actually used as in a pop song back in the 90s. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was David Whittaker done the tune for it. But there you go. The theme tune to Lazy Jones was actually used in a pop song. So there you are. And the last one question from Brian: Rice Krispies, Weetabix or cornflakes? None of them. It's going to be, well, alright, if I had to choose, I'm not a big fan of cornflakes. Weetabix gets kind of soggy. It would probably be Rice Krispies, but I'm more a Crunchy Nut cornflakes or Cocoa Pops. Yeah. Okay, right. Last set of questions from Kev down the rabbit hole. Thank you, Kev. Hi Alan, once again, as you read this, we will be in Portland attending the Retro Gaming Expo, and I hope I'm having tons of fun. However, part of me suspects this might be the last time we go, partly because I'm running out of classics to buy. I sometimes discover old games or systems from YouTube, and I can't even blame one podcast for inspiring me to buy an Atari Flashback and Vectrex. Where do you discover new old things to investigate and purchase? Or have you always had a set list in your mind of retro systems and games to get? Have you ever bought anything because someone in your computer club mentioned it? Good question, Kev. I mean, I've said before, I probably right now I reckon I've got everything that I want to own as far as old systems go. So I'm not actively looking for anything. However, I don't know why was, in fact, you know what it was? It was a mate of mine's gave me the opportunity to buy an NES. He's got a mint condition NES, and he offered it to me at mate's rates, but it was, because it was boxed, he was looking for quite a bit more than I was willing to spend. I mean, I'm not a fan of, if I can get a system unboxed for cheap, I would rather that than getting an expensive one in a box. I'm really not interested in boxes. I mean, you know, I buy machines to use, not to put in a shelf and, you know, to sell. So whether something's boxed is neither here nor there for myself. But after that, it got me thinking maybe I could get an NES. So I was having a wee look on eBay. I mean, there are quite a few NESs, so I may look to get one of these at some point. The other system which I don't have, which I sold, was the N64, but I'm not really interested in that one. I did have an EverDrive for it. But getting back to your question, do you have a list? I don't have a list. Like I said, I did have a list in my head probably. I mean, I always wanted an Atari. I always wanted an Atari 800. I always wanted the Sword M5. I always wanted a BBC, and I've got all these now. There's not really anything old that I'm actively looking for. However, if something was to come up, I mean, you're asking about the computer club. Yeah, there's a lot of the stuff that I've bought over the years is because somebody at the computer club's got it. And then once you play it, you think, I've got to have one of them for myself. So the computer club has probably cost me quite a bit of money over the years, and I think that's probably the same for every other guy. I've taken stuff along, and you know, before we know it, I buy the GP DXD, and then somebody else buys it, and then somebody else buys it, and vice versa. But right now, there's nothing. Maybe the NES, if I had the opportunity to buy a cheap NES, then I may well take it. But I don't have any, right now I don't have any hardware that I'm actually looking for as such. I don't have room for anything else anyway, but if that's why I moved away. There used to be a Facebook page called Retro for Sale, and there was always all these machines up for grabs, and I'm just a sucker when I see some you know, an old bit of hardware, so I deliberately remove myself from that so I don't kind of go daft and buy anything else. But there's nothing else that I'm actively looking for. However, if something was to come along and, you know, be waved under my nose, then I would probably end up buying it, because that's what I'm like. So anyway, listen, that is it. That's me done. I'm going to try and get this uploaded before I go and pick up my daughter. Thank you very much to all your continued support. I'm up to 960 subscribers, so with any luck we will get to the 1,000 before Christmas. I am thinking of things for my 1,000 subscriber special. So yeah, if there's anything you want to see featured in that, please put a comment below. But as usual guys, thanks for the support. Thanks to the new subscribers. Thank you very much to all the old subscribers for sticking with me. If you've just watched this video for the first time, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe. And lastly, thank you very much for watching.